right, welcome everyone to another episode of Inside Hollywood with Vinny. And today I got a Paisan. All right, Paisan alert. We got an East Coaster. He's awesome. He's a fantastic actor originally from New Rochelle. He's still in New York. He's still there, and he's still making some really great movies. It really is my pleasure to introduce Craig DiFrancia. Craig, welcome to the show.
Oh my God, Vinny, thank you so much for having me, man. I've seen a lot of these episodes, and I'm really honored and privileged to be a part of this whole thing. Thanks, man.
It's my pleasure, and the check is in the mail for that little plug.
Oh.
But no, you're a great guy. I got the pleasure of meeting you over at Chuck Zito's premiere.
That's right.
In New York, and it was great, man. I've been following you too online, and I'm a fan of your work. You've done some really amazing shows, as you can tell and movies from behind you. I see The Irishman,
Oh yeah, I'm in the studio.
Green
Yeah,
Book,
yeah.
and a
Thanks.
whole ton of things. But I'm going to let you talk more about it. So,
Oh,
Craig,
okay.
tell us how you got started in business, man. Tell us more about yourself.
Wow, well, it's pretty funny how I got started. It's funny. One of my friends was doing commercials. He did a commercial with George Brett, and always was enamored with it and always wanted to do it. So I go to my father, an Italian bread man from the Bronx. And I say, Dad, Dad, I want to be on TV. So he grabs me and puts me on the television. And he goes, now you're on TV. I'm like, all right, great, Dad. But, I wanted to try to explore it a little bit more. So I went to college. I went to grammar school in Immaculate Heart of Mary School in Eastchester, New York. Then I was asked to leave there. I was a troubled kid. And then I went to Iona Grammar, all boy Catholic school, went to Iona Prep, another old boy Catholic school. They almost asked me to leave there, but I was an athlete, and wasn't fully into it. My brother Dean was in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, so he would ask me to read scripts with him all the time, and I started getting a little juice for it. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, and he was showing me how he was developing character and stuff, and how it relates to your own personal life, and I got hooked. Um, I guess my first, I went to what's now known as the New York Conservatory. It was called the School for Film and Television back then. I just wanted to take a class. I wanted to just see what it's all about in New York City. And I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I did it. I took a Shakespeare class. I didn't do that well with my accent, but it was fun to do anyway. And then I evolved into the William Esper Studio. I studied with Bill for 2 years. I did the Meisner technique and learned a lot about myself and a lot about creating character and doing all the work for it. I really thrown myself into it, and that's pretty much how I got started. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I heard of William Esper, actually, a friend of mine who hasn't been on the show. She told me a lot about that. Um, so now, you've done some great stuff. Boardwalk Empire. We mentioned this a little bit earlier. And guess
That's
what?
right.
One of my favorite movies that I've watched recently. It's a
Uh-huh.
couple years old. Don Q. Man, I loved. I love
Oh my God.
Armand Assante. It's they. Belante. You guys did a great job with that. That was a great. And Chuck
Oh,
Zito was in it.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, what a great cast. Armand Assante, we had Federico Castellucci, we had Vinny Pastore, Claudio Benante, our fabulous director, a couple other people. And obviously Chuck Zito. Chuck Zito plays my dad. And what a ride that was, man. Chuck is a straight shooter. He's the best, man. And, I mean, we've maintained our friendship now. He actually, because we met at your premiere, he invited me down to come personally. And I was, so honored to come and be a part of him. I mean, he's a true badass, and to play his son was not easy, So, he's tough. He's tough on you, and you got to bring it, And that was a fun movie to shoot. We shot in Little Italy on Mulberry Street in New York, and everybody was so welcoming and warming. I mean, we had the cannoli king sending me to lunch places. Then Mr. DiFrancia doesn't pay for anything. He'd walk in and just be treated like gold. And then I got to meet and work with Armand. And Armand Assante is one of the best guys I've ever met. A true Hollywood legend. And to work with him was amazing. I actually got a funny story about that. I'm about to shoot our first scene in Don Q, and we're on the sidewalk. We're outside, and the crowd. There's a lot of people outside watching. It's my first scene with Armand Santi, mind you, so I'm a little nervous. So Claudio announces action on the big megaphone. He comes in, and we start doing our dialogue, and I hear DiFrancia. Hey, DiFrancia. Yo, DiFrancia. Cut. I look over. It's one of my friends, Pat from high school, going in the crowd. He's like, "Yo, what's up?" Right? So calls cut, and the director comes over. Claudio comes over. He goes, "Craig, your friend is here." And
Did you
that was
sneak him in as an extra?
I know. I called him over. I asked one of the PAs to go grab him, and then we talked after. I'm like, "Did you not hear the action on the megaphone?" It was funny. Afterwards, it was funny, and it's cool now. But I was like, "Holy shit!" What the hell is
Right in
going
front of
on?
Armand. Yeah.
Yeah, our mom was
Yeah,
laughing too. It was a funny time.
I like the cinematography too, different shots. It was really creative. I like the way they put that together. It was really
Yeah,
well
he
done.
really there was a really gritty feel to it. It was a really fun movie to shoot,
Almost a
and
noir, like a noir element to it, you know.
exactly. He threw a lot of elements in there. He threw a couple things at you, and you don't know where it's going, and then boom, which was really cool. We're
Yeah,
actually
you
we're
guys did a
actually
few.
in, we're actually in the works to do Don Q2 now.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
which
Yeah.
is cool. I actually had a phone call with the director last week, so we're getting that off the ground as well. So which is good too.
That's
Armand's on board.
fantastic. I'll make sure I come up there and yell from the crowd if I'm up there.
Please come scream my name while I'm working. It always helps.
That's my man, Baby John, my buddy up there. He's always, I haven't gone up this year. I usually go every year to the festivals and
The
to the
cannoli
feasts.
king.
But yeah, he's
The
the man, my man, Baby
he's the
John. But
man.
but listen now, tell us a little bit. Now,
Yes.
Green Book, another great movie. We
Oh,
had, like I
Green
said,
Book.
we had Joe Cortese on. He was our guest. I'm dying to have Nick Vallelonga on the show. I'm sure we'll make it happen at some point.
Oh
But
yeah, we got to get Nick on.
tell
Good
us
guy.
about that experience.
Oh man, so Green Book. So I set up a camera in my kitchen, and I got a late call for the show. So I worked up some things, and what I did was I incorporated in my audition. It was all in Italian. So, and I took it in high school, but I don't speak it. So I called my uncle and started working with it. And he gave me some Brooklyn Sicilian and correct Neapolitan, right? So I kind of, wanted to add some stuff, but I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So I auditioned, you know, waiting for the call, whatever, forgot about it. It was my birthday. I took my family and some friends out. We went out for dinner, and I had left my phone in the car. And I get back in the car when we're about to go home, and my phone had 7 messages on it and 2 texts. And I'm scrolling. I'm like, Craig, they want you for the movie Green Book. I'm like, the best birthday present ever. I mean, we didn't know how epic it was going to be, but still to work with Viggo Mortensen, Mahershala Ali, the cast, the list goes on and on. Nick Vallelonga, everybody was amazing. So I get to set, right? We shot it in Louisiana. Most of it, we shot in Louisiana, and I go to set, and I had a beard, because I'm shooting the next day. Get my so Peter Fowley, our director, walks up, and goes, "Craig, you're gonna shave that, right?" I said, "Of course, Pete. I'm not gonna, gangsters don't have beards. Only rats have whiskers." So I said, "I'm gonna shave for tomorrow. Get a nice clean shave." Vigo came over, introduced himself. I was like, he's like, "Hey, Dominic, come stai?" Starts throwing Italian at me. So we're conversing in Italian, and he didn't. Vigo speaks 5 languages, and he did not know some of the verbiage I was using. So I explained to him. I said, "Vigo, I said, kind of like what you did in Carlito's Way. You used Puerto Rican Spanish and correct Spanish. And so I'm using Brooklyn Sicilian and correct Neapolitan. I want to add a little nuance to my character." He goes like this. All right. So, okay. So when he leaves, he goes to shoot. I go back to I go back to the hotel. Next day I come 5 a.m. I'm in my trailer. I get okay, I'm ready. It's Vigo. He comes in the room. He goes, "Craig, I really liked what you said yesterday." And he gave me a bottle of Chilean Syrah. And he's like, here's a little incentive for a good shoot. And man, Vinny, let me tell you something. That took all the weight off. All the pressure was gone. It was 2 actors working on a scene. And man, and I mean, I think the chemistry came across in the film, and it was just a really, really, really great experience. And then we went on the run from the BAFTAs to the all the awards that we won, and it was an amazing experience, man. I cried. I cried that night.
Yeah, and I've heard that about him. He's a true professional. Really,
True professional, encompasses his characters. He's someone to be admired and revered. I mean, he's Viggo Mortensen. He's been doing it for so long, and I mean, from Lord of the Rings to Captain Fantastic. You know, I mean, the diversity in his character is really prolific. He really is an amazing true artist and a good
yeah,
guy.
huge range as they call it. But you
Yeah.
know, a friend of mine who's friendly with Chaz Palminteri, he said that early on, I guess when it first started to hit some of the festival circuits, Chaz kind of called it that it was going to win an Academy Award.
Oh,
And
is that right?
sometimes it's hard to call that because a
Yeah.
lot of times there's great movies and they don't get it, so it's
Of
really
course.
hard to.
We had some stiff competition that year. I mean, we had the Bradley Cooper film, Star is Born, the remake. We had the Bohemian Rhapsody. Rami Malek was amazing. He won a lot of the awards, and yeah, the competition was fierce that year. It was we were the little thing that could, and it was a great ride. It was just incredible.
And I like studying a lot of like you mentioned about the dialects because my parents are from Calabria, so
Oh, okay.
and
Color
like
Bay.
my aunt's from Naples. I was around a lot of Sicilians, so I can understand. I can actually understand a lot of even Northern Italian. Because when I was in Italy, I would listen to like the Northern Italian dialect, which sounded a lot like French, because they
Yeah.
have that sort of influence up there in German. But
Hmm.
it's pretty interesting the different when you hear the different dialects. Then some of it's really thick, like Pugliese and a lot of those Barets are really tough to distinguish.
Exactly. There's so many different. I mean, there's seven different words to say the word plate. In different with different dialects, and that's why it's sometimes it can get a little bit confusing. But you just I mean, if it sounds certain words sound close enough to one word, you figure it out.
And I always
Yeah.
I really listen whenever there's a movie that I watch that has like someone trying to speak Italian. I always really listen in, and if
Mm,
they don't sound authentic, man, it's like it kind of bums you out because it's like
of
if
course.
you're making a movie, you really should go that extra mile. Make sure like the people are really sounding authentic if you're going to try to pull it off.
It's so important. It's vital to the realism of a film. I mean, if you want to believe somebody, you have to live it. My old acting teacher Bill Esper used to say, live truthfully through imaginary circumstances, and that's key to any good performance. You encompass the character and be it, and you don't think of anything else. That's why sometimes it becomes so much easier when you really do your homework and prepare. You can concentrate on what you're doing right in front of you as opposed to worrying about how you're going to say piazza or something like that. It's just natural, and I think that's vital.
Let me ask you this too. And I've done a few short movies, and
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person I like to write. When I write, in my opinion, as a just as an average independent newbie filmmaker, is I like to write it, and then I really like to hear the actor interpret it his way. So it's not like verbatim. So
No.
I see a lot of movies. I guess it depends on the director's style, but what do you think is the best way? If you because you've directed before, what do you think is
Yes.
the best way as an actor? Should you be the guy who's just learns the lines and just is totally verbatim, or do you like try to use your own inflection, your own way of doing things?
It definitely depends what medium. I mean, in film, it's more flexibility. TV is practically verbatim unless you have a good relationship with the writer or the director, and you say, I think my character would say this. I mean, I generally almost all the time I'm off book verbatim. But if I have an idea, I'll present it. I think my character would say something like this. And my best work experiences are creative collaboratives when everybody's, you're creative, I'm a creative, we're all creatives and we're all creating this beautiful project. So everybody's gonna have input. Someone's going to have a good idea, and I think that's the key to being a good director. Also, is being able to listen to the actors and see their interpretation. Let's see it. Let's try it. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's what the editing room is for. But at least everybody's allowed to participate and give their their creative juices to the project. That's my best way.
Yeah, and I think that's also you have to make sure you're working with someone who's not so egotistical where they can't allow an actor to be themselves and to really interpret it the way they like.
Of course, and so I mean, you always give. I do what I want, and then if they want to give direction or take notes or try it a different way, I'm always open and free to do that. I mean, that's key to being a solid actor, a professional, is being able to sway and try different nuances to a character, and sometimes you discover things about a character that you didn't even know existed, and then it evokes a different behavior and emotionality out of myself that I didn't even know was in the character, you know.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I love that. That's like the energy that gets me going.
I think the coolest thing
Yeah.
about creating stories that it takes, like even George Gallo, when I had him on, he agreed. Like a good story usually takes a life of its own. You start to put pen to paper, and all of a sudden, these characters they
It's
become
fluid.
something that you never thought they would be.
Exactly. It just becomes fluid. It flows out of you into the paper. It's there. Whatever channel you use, the Holy Spirit or what have you, whatever you believe, it just goes. It comes right through you into the from the pen right onto the paper, and it's a great experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You tap into something. It definitely, like, there's some wave out there you tap into, this creative wave. And
Exactly.
it's really cool. It's the part of it that I really like.
Yeah.
What were some of your, we didn't talk too much about your rise, but what were some of your challenges getting your feet wet, breaking in, breaking
Oh
through?
man.
What were some of your biggest challenges?
Oh man, I guess my challenges. There's quite a few. I mean, I started out. I was a starving artist, the traditional story. I mean, living in a studio apartment in Hollywood, just trying to make it, getting auditions here and there, just trying to network and staying in class. But always, I think the key to some of my success was staying focused on the work, and always doing something, always doing a play, always writing, always, even if I wasn't doing anything, if I wasn't preparing for a particular show or movie, I would memorize a monologue, a different monologue, try to do one every week, and just really staying focused on the craft of acting. And that I can attribute. It's all about the work, and it's a cliche, but it really is true. I mean, for Sylvester Stallone, I mean, he just has a way of getting the crowd on his side, and he writes so well that you're just in it, and that I think is really important.
And you said something that is really, really key, I think, too, to being a great actor, in my opinion, is,
Mhm.
you mentioned stage. I see a lot of people that are really serious actors now that I've been doing the show for a while, and I
Uh-huh.
interview people. You notice the serious ones because they're the ones that are doing stage. They're the ones that are
Yeah.
doing film. They're doing everything, and they just want to keep building those creative muscles.
I can't agree more. That's where you learn everything. I went to the William Esper Studio, and Bill, used to say, "Have respect for the boards. The boards are the floor. As soon as you step on that, it's an honor to step on that stage. And if you go in onto the stage with that attitude, and you really encompass that and embrace that, you can elevate to something that you didn't even know you were capable of." And so, sometimes you lose yourself in the scene. Sometimes I don't even know what I just did, but they were like, that was great or whatever. But yeah, if you lose yourself in it, as long as you come back to reality, but as long as when you're up there, you're up there. And stage is very important. Even just the lighting, the crowd interaction. If there's a joke and you get a laugh, it invigorates you, and it makes the scene work so much more engaging.
Now, have you worked with anyone that really made a major impression on your career as an actor, or really made you think of things differently, or really left
Oh,
a very big, like,
oh,
any?
so many, so many. But when I was on Power. I did 8 episodes of that show, and when Bill Sadler came on the show, he plays Teresi, Joe Sikora, Tommy's father. We were talking one day, and he told me, he goes, "Craig, always use your periphery, know where the camera is, and dance with it." So I was like, that's really interesting. And so I started to do that, and then it opens you up into different mindsets, and different ways to work, and it really. So yeah, I mean, Bill Sadler was definitely made an impression on me in my early in my career. I had the privilege of working with Viggo Mortensen, a great guy.
Everybody's at different levels, right? But once you're there, once the cameras are rolling, you all become one family. At least you should be anyway.
Yeah,
Irishman,
absolutely.
I see that over your shoulder. Another great movie, Irishman. I was a fan of that. Of course, it had a lot of South Philly connotations and actual places and places that I actually grew up are literally half a block. Ville de Roma, Friendly Lounges are in literally stone's throw from where I grew up.
Oh, that's
And
so cool.
yeah, so it was kind of cool seeing, even though they didn't shoot it there, but that's okay. They
It's
still
always good when Marty's around, you know.
it was still cool to see some references to South Philly and some
Yeah,
legendary figures. Angelo Bruno, who I was actually in his home before, and they actually just sold his home in South Philly. They remodeled it and
you were
sold
in
it.
his home.
Yeah, I got a couple stones I took off the wall too from his
Oh,
basement.
that's great. Oh, that's fantastic.
I don't know. I'm just weird like that. Like I have to have a memento.
I would have probably solo forked myself. I agree.
I think I got a piece of a tile from the Raven Night when I was in the
No,
on Mulberry Street.
are you kidding me? I
I just,
love it.
I'm admitting
Where
here,
is it? Where
folks.
is it?
I'm a mob, building klepto, I guess.
Oh, you.
But that was a great movie, man. I think that you had some
Yeah.
great heavyweights in it.
Oh
Keitel,
man,
Pesci,
I
and De
mean, we
Niro.
had everybody in that. I mean, De Niro, Pacino, Joe Pesci. My God, the list goes on and on. Harvey Keitel. How great Harvey Keitel, Angelo Bruno. I loved him in that. He was great. I got cast in that the last day of casting, and I shot on the last day of shooting, and it was absolutely wild. And I get into wardrobe, right? I'm going in, and the uh, the head of wardrobe says, "Are you a gangster?" And I said, "No, I'm an actor." He goes, "Well, because Marty likes to use real people." So okay, thought nothing of it. Didn't Then the day of shooting, I come in and I play the hitman that killed Albert Anastasia, and my co-hitman was a real gangster by the name of Larry Maza, and I was blown away.
And that's Albert Anastasia, if I'm not mistaken. That's our boy Gary Pastor that played Albert Anastasia,
That's
right?
right. Gary played him. That's right. That's absolutely right. I love Gary. He's another great actor, man. He's
Yeah.
been working so long, forever. He invites me to he has a party every summer, and I wasn't able to. I was away this year for his party, but he's the best. I love Gary.
Yeah, he's
Good
a good dude.
guy.
He comes down to Philly every once in a while. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I
Nice.
see him. I see him
Nice.
around from time to time. Good guy. We gotta get him on the show hopefully soon. Yeah, we've been talking about it
Absolutely,
for a
man.
while.
Absolutely. We'll give him a shot, man. What's
Yeah.
up, Gary? Come on the show.
Jump in. Were you able to interact with De Niro or Pesci or Keitel during that time?
No, just at the parties. Just at the parties. No, funny story. We're waiting online. We're at Lincoln Center. We're about to do the red carpet for The Irishman. I'm sitting there with Dominic Lombardozzi and Sebastian Maniscalco, and we're talking, and we're BSing, and all of a sudden, we're waiting about 10 minutes. I think Marty and Bob were on the stage already, so waiting a good 10-15 minutes. Like they're the legends as they are. So we're just waiting about a good 15 minutes, and then we're just about to go up, all three of us, and then Al Pacino walks up, right, and he walks right to the front of the line, and I go to Dominic. I go, "Who does he think he is, the Godfather?" Right? Yeah, I guess you had to be there, but man, we had a laugh about it for a good 5 minutes.
That's great. Yeah, Dominic Lombardozzi is a great actor, man. I got a lot of respect for him.
Oh, he's a great guy. I've read Dominic. I met on Power. He was on Power with me. I met him at one of the premieres, and we became pretty friendly ever since. And great guy, great actor. He's everywhere, man.
Yeah,
He's everywhere. God bless him, man. He's doing great work too. His work is
yeah,
so
he's
good.
he's
Even
a
on
star.
Tulsa King now,
Yeah,
he's doing great. Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, look, Craig, where are we going from
Oh,
here? What's coming up? What's on the horizon for us?
that's it. Well, we're talking about Don Q2. Don Q2. We're in the works to do that. We also have the life, doing the life of real life mobster Larry Maza, and we're in pre pro for doing that right now. We're shopping it to the networks, And that's really what's going on.
That
That's
sounds
really,
like this sounds like two great projects. I know it's a crazy time. Everything's kind of topsy turvy in Hollywood, and
yeah,
people are just trying to figure out what's working, what's not. Where do you, how do you get funded? Who's doing what? Streaming's taking over. It's a crazy time, but
it
I
is.
think that if you have a great story and if you're persistent and if you're creative, which I think you're all that, you're going to wind up doing very well. So, where can we
Absolutely.
find you if we're watching? Obviously, you're online, but tell us where we could find you.
Oh yeah, on Instagram, I'm at Craig DiFrancia. I'm also on Facebook, and yeah, reach out. Love to hear from everybody.
IMDb, of course. Well, listen, we'll
I
have links. We'll have
Yeah.
links in the
Oh yeah, just
description
put my
box.
links up. Cool, man. Thank you so much, Vin.
But make sure everybody's watching this. Like I always say every episode, make sure that we're supporting our guests. Make sure you go there, you follow them on social media. You watch the movies, but you leave a review. It's very important. You gotta leave those reviews. 10-star reviews always. Do the right
Yes. Let me know
thing
what.
and leave
Let
a
us know
review.
what you think.
Because we need that because there's a lot of times where sometimes you get these movies and no everybody loves them, but they're not leaving reviews. I mean, it's sort of self defeating. So please remember to do that. In the meantime, if you haven't, please subscribe to me.
Yes.
And it's been my absolute pleasure to have my paisan over here, Craig DiFrancia. You're a real pro, man. You have a great story, and keep us updated. We'd love to have you back again sometime soon.
Vinny, thank you so much. Anytime, my pleasure, man. It was an honor and a privilege to be on your show, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Hey, likewise. Hopefully, we get to work together one day.
Yeah, soon. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All
I'm
right,
into it.
guys. Have a great one. We'll see you again soon.
All right. Peace, brother.